your partner starts to change mouths and removes you from his or her future plan. It's even partners that are in love that would actually show concern, that will put in effort in an argument. Most times we continue to be in a relationship that has ended long ago without realizing that our partners has dropped enough clues for us to know that this relationship has ended. Now, if we are lucky and smart enough to pick up these clues early enough, it will prevent us from suffering from that heavy heartbreak that we would suffer if our partner had vocalized the heartbreak. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Diamond Mom here again. If you're new here, you're very much welcome. I film about motherhood, relationship and lifestyle. To my returning subscribers, thank you guys for always coming back. So in today's video, I'll be discussing 4 signs that your relationship is over. If you notice any of the signs in your relationship, just know that relationship is headed nowhere. So without much ado, let's dive right into the video. Now, for the first sign that tells you that your relationship is over is when there is a breakdown in communication breakdown. You know, those early morning calls, texts and those stuffs that you used to enjoy in the beginning of a relationship, or when the relationship is still very much active. Those early morning calls, have you eaten, where are you, when did you wake up, have you done this, I did this, all those exchange of little details about your lives. Now, when these things start to dwindle, when these things start to reduce, and in fact when it starts to die, just know that relationship is over. When you start to beg for attention and your partner gives you excuses like, oh, I'm busy, I don't have airtime, I don't have this, I'll call you later. It's not, we are still in the morning. Like, when your partner starts to give you excuses upon excuses about why he or she can no longer keep up with the early morning calls, with the long hour calls, when your communication starts to go from 1 hour to 10 minutes, when you start to struggle to communicate, like when you're together, your partner loses interest, like there's nothing to communicate about, just know that relationship is over. And maybe your partner does not want to hurt you by vocalizing the heartbreak, so he or she is just dropping that communication breakdown clue for you to pick it up and, you know, walk away yourself. Now, for the second sign that shows that your relationship is over or headed nowhere is when your partner starts to exempt you from his or her plans. Now, you know, this communication, when you're all loved up with your partner and you start planning, our children, our future, when we get married, when we do this, when we get to 40, when such plans start to reduce to when your partner starts to change mouths and removes you from his or her future plans, and then the person starts saying my, your, is, instead of our, instead of our, instead of us, instead of we, the person starts using the personal pronouns, my dear, just know that relationship is over. Because when someone stops seeing you in his or her future, of course it shows that there is no future with you. So it's best for you to pick up that clue early enough and work out to avoid suffering a huge and fatal heartbreak. Another heavy sign that shows that relationship is over is when your partner stops being territorial. Now, this one applies to mostly the men. Now, we all know that when a man is in love, when a man really values you, he tends to be territorial. He would not like to share you with any other guy. But when your partner stops being territorial, when your partner starts to feel less concerned about your movements, your actions, your calls, your everything, just know that relationship might be over. Like when your partner starts saying, if you see husband, marry you, maybe in the form of a joke. If you see husband, marry you. Oh, you are a very good woman. The man that will marry you is very lucky. Wow. Now he's exempting himself. He's now like feeling less concerned. If you like, you can move on to the next train and so on. So when the partner stops being territorial, the partner is no longer interested in any argument or any fight or any scene. It's normal for partners to argue, to fight. It's even partners that are in love that would actually show concern, that will put in effort in an argument. But when you see your partner like is no longer bothered about conversations, is no longer bothered about arguments, like anything you want to do. Like before, if it was before, if you're chatting on your phone for long, that partner will be like, what are you doing? What, like the person will want to show concern to know if okay. The person will be bothered to know who are you, who have you been talking with since, who have you been chatting with, and then all of a sudden the person no longer cares. If you like, you can do whatever you want to do, go to wherever you want to go. If the person calls you once and you don't speak, that's it. Like okay, just know that that relationship is over. Another sign that your relationship might just be over is when your partner suddenly begins to prefer to be alone than being coupled up. Of course, everyone who is in a relationship who loves his or her partner would always want to be with that partner, would always feel at peace when that partner is around. But when you notice a drastic change, that your partner now suddenly likes being alone, suddenly requires peace, suddenly requires space, I need my space, you're encroaching in my space, you're invading my privacy, all those loneliness clues, see, just know that that relationship, if it is not over, is at the verge of being over, and you would only be saving yourself the stress and the heartbreak to actually pick up this clue on time. Because if your partner is really into you, if that relationship is very much alive and healthy, your partner would always long to be with you, your partner would always long to want to come to you, would always long to speak with you. So when you notice any of this sign, please just do yourself the good and respectfully leave the relationship. You don't need to vocalize the heartbreak instead, but just trail the same path with your partner. The same way the person is cutting off the communication, you also reciprocate, give the same energy that your partner is giving, so that when the breakup finally happens, it won't come as a shock to you, and you will not suffer emotionally too much as a result of this. So guys, these are the signs I would suggest you watch out for in your relationship to know if that relationship is still healthy or if that relationship is faulty. Now please also note that there are some relationships, there are some partners that might show any of this sign, maybe on a temporal basis. Maybe they are going through stress at work or family pressure or just their mental health issues. You should be able to differentiate when this is on a temporal basis than on a permanent basis. So if it's on a temporal basis, you can just give your partner time and also try to understand. At least after a while the partner would come back. But when you have waited and waited and waited and the partner seems to be dwelling in that state for so long, please just do yourself the privilege, pack up your bag and baggages and leave the relationship to avoid chopping breakfast that would cause you so much hurt. So guys, if you know you enjoyed this video, please give this video a thumbs up. If you learned one or two, also like this video, share and subscribe to this channel. Please also leave your comments in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.